Hi everyone. I wanted to take a moment to share a few thoughts about this week's Parsha Torah portion, sort of right in the middle of this whole section beginning in Leviticus that describes the whole sacrificial system that ancient Israel used to practice. We find some kernels like the one that is in this week's Parsha, in chapter 5, verses 6 through 8, about admitting when we do something wrong, realizing when we do something wrong. Even before, in ancient Israel, we would have brought a sacrifice. And so I want us to think about this kernel, even amidst a lot of ritual, including in this week's Parsha, we read about the difficult text of the sota, the suspected adulterous woman, that the rabbis describe as not happening in the way it's described in the Torah, and also the Nazirite, the person that takes on additional rituals and connections to dedicate oneself to God. Even amidst all this ritual, we read about a key interpersonal part of life. Admitting when we're wrong, realizing when we're wrong, saying it aloud, confessing. And so now, when we live in a time without a sacrificial system, which makes some of us relieved, we are invited, I think, by the text to think about what does it mean to go about our daily lives and try to always, as best as we can, do the right thing and then acknowledge it when we do something wrong. And so even at the end of this week's Parsha, when we read about the Birkat Kohanim, the blessings that Israel receives from the priests as messengers of God, bringing blessing to us. And also we read at the very end, the very last verse in the Parsha, the Torah portion, is about God's presence, strangely, sitting beneath the cherubim, the kruvim, in the Mishkan, the sanctuary. And so perhaps the narrative, the trajectory of the Parsha invites us to think about the importance of our behavior and our words in setting things straight, confessing, realizing, admitting when we're wrong. And after that, not only can we experience a certain freedom, psychological, spiritual freedom and forgiveness, but also blessing and a real sense, a deep sense of presence in our lives. So with that, I will wish you a Shabbat Shalom.